SHEGLAM have a Marilyn Monroe collection available right now, and I'll be honest with you guys, I don't really know how I feel about it. I always find that any sort of a collab that is between a makeup brand and a celebrity who is no longer with us is always a bit and it's unclear as to whether or not like any proceeds are going towards her estate. I just feel like, particularly with Marilyn Monroe, she had such a tragic life and she was just really used and objectified. To kind of still be using her to gain some amount of profit is probably not it. All that being said, I'm going to talk you through this collection and what the story is. As I said previously, this entire collection is available right now for $47.99, and it includes the Daydreamer Face and Eye Palette, the Icon Lipstick in the shade XOXO Marilyn. There's also the Icon Lipstick in the shade Hollywood, but that looks more like it's a liquid blush, so I was a little bit confused by that. There's also a Poet's Lover liquid eyeliner, and then there's two different lip duos. So you do get quite a bit in this set, which is usually what you see with SHEGLAM, and it seems that they've tried to kind of capture her general style of, you know, the red lipstick, the very neutral eyeshadow, the very strong liner. It makes sense, to be fair, and it looks like if you get the big PR set that you also get a face brush along with it, which is different, I guess. Let's start as we always do with the eyeshadow palette. It isn't exactly an eyeshadow palette, it's also a face and eye palette for $12.99, and they've included it so that it has a 4-colour eyeshadow, there's a gradient highlighter, and there's also a pressed powder. Do I think there's anything mind-blowing about these particular shades? Not really, but it kind of makes sense given the source material. Like, I mean, you're going to have an awful lot of nude shades in there, and I think that pop of pastel blue makes an awful lot of sense. Do the swatches absolutely blow my mind? No, not really, but they're grand. Like, you'd get a decent amount of wear out of them if that was what you were interested in. I do feel like maybe the shades Glamour and Sensuality look a little bit too similar, particularly on the paler arm. So I kind of feel like maybe they needed to change that up slightly. Then we have the Icon lipstick in the shade XOXO Marilyn for $6.99, and it has this cute little polka dot case, and I have to say it does look very cute for the price. And they've really taken to like copywriting all of their pictures so that you see SHEGLAM written everywhere, but it gives you a decent idea as to what it looks like. It is quite an orange leaning red. I would have thought more of like a blue toned red, but there you go. But they also rather unhelpfully swatch it on the wrist. Who is swatching a lipstick on the wrist like that? And in such a big block. It's very, very strange. Then there's the Icon lipstick in the shade Hollywood for $5.99. And this is kind of confusing because it looks like it's one of their liquid blushes. And even when they're showing it, they give you this because they've shown the matte and the shimmer formula of their liquid blushes, but now they have this, which they say is a dewy formula. Why would you want dewy on your lips? It's really strange and very, very confusing to me, but they do have it marketed as a lipstick. But of course, you could obviously put it onto your cheeks, like you can put lipstick onto your cheeks. It's just strange. Anyways, that shade is more kind of pinky toned. It's really interesting again to see it across the different skin tones because you can almost see how it works with different undertones. You couldn't really have a Marilyn Monroe collection without having a liquid eyeliner, and this is the A Poet's Lover liquid eyeliner, and it's retailing for $4.99. And I mean, it does look really cute. Like, I'd love to see how it applies. They do claim it has a very precise tip. And then the last items that they have are the vintage lip duos, and they're $7.99 each. This one is Fear is Stupid, and it seems that they have put it into this sort of like an old school sort of container, which is kind of nice. And then the other shade is So Are Regrets, and this is much more red toned, which again makes sense, but do you necessarily need this with all of the other red lip items that are as part of this collection? I mean, not really. And I don't know about you, but I feel like the fact that they have two other lipsticks as part of this collection, they didn't really need this. Like, they could have just done these two little cases or something. It just seems a little bit, I don't know, unnecessary. And it's quite interesting because when you go over to their website, they say Marilyn Monroe by SHEGLAM, carry Marilyn's beauty secrets. And it's almost like they're trying to say that this is linked to Marilyn. And it's like, she had nothing to do with this. I don't think this is really informed by any sort of formulas that she was wearing at the time. So it just seems a bit strange to market it that way. Maybe more say like emulate Marilyn's beauty or something like that. But otherwise it kind of seems like you're using the exact products she did, and that's just not the case. Look, don't get me wrong, I love affordable beauty. I just feel like this is not great. I just always have a thing about brands doing a collab or a collection around somebody who is deceased. It just feels really strange to me. And I mean, poor Marilyn had such a difficult life. It's pretty clear she had undiagnosed borderline personality disorder. And she just didn't get the help that she needed for that. So I'm like, why would you do a collection like this and not put something towards like mental health or something like that? It just feels a bit, I don't know, it kind of makes me uncomfortable personally. Now, don't get me wrong, if you are a fan of Marilyn and this speaks to you, I totally get it. I totally get it. You know, if that's your jam, that's your jam. For me, it isn't my thing. And that's okay. We don't all have to like the same thing. I don't know. It just feels really strange. I feel like a brand that would have probably done it better would have been like Besame, and they're crazy expensive, but they'd have probably found the exact formula or the exact tone of the lipsticks, etc. I don't know. It isn't for me, and I should just stop whinging on. Let me know what you guys think. Are you interested in this, or are you just as confused as me?